chance, intention, destiny. Those three seem like they all kind of block one another. Or somehow, like, how do they work together? That's what we're looking at today. It's kind of an esoteric show. But what I'm really looking for and kind of exploring with you is the power we have in our lives versus the power that we don't. And I don't know. Come along. Let's be intrigued together as we explore episode number 667, Chance versus Intention versus Destiny.
Flow dreaming. It's a show where we talk about the power of your mind to change your world around you, to literally affect the fabric of your reality. We talk about this feeling of hope and joy and relief. And that is what being aware of your flow does. It gives you a feeling of power again in your lives. Breathe. I'm Summer McStravick, and welcome to another episode of Flow Dreaming.
Right. So I can't say that I'm actually going to give you the final answer on this. This whole chance, intention, destiny. But I can break down each one of these ideas and help you see where you put your faith, where you put your trust in life and the way it works, and most importantly, your agency in your life, your personal inner power, your ability to make, create, and change things, which really is at the heart of Flow Dreaming and of Me School. So let's dive in. And by the way, if you're new to Flow Dreaming, my name is Summer McStravick. I'm so happy to be with you. And we spend every episode of Flow Dreaming really looking at an aspect of life that we can grow more empowered in. And we use a technique, I call it flow dreaming, but it's also a way of looking at the world, a way of looking at life that puts you firmly in the throne of creation, of co-creation, that allows you to direct and make and grow and become and expand. And, well, I guess that's my obsession. So welcome to the club, and come join me as we explore. All right, so chance. Chance to me is that random mutation in the cell that leads to the development of feathers or lizard skin. It is that moment of change that just seems to happen. And sometimes it's a bad thing. Witness the coronavirus, constantly mutating, chance changing, just trying new things, stuff coming seemingly out of nowhere to change it. But sometimes it can be really, really good things. It can be that winning of the lottery. It can be that moment of risk that you take and it works out beautifully. Lady Luck was in your favor. Chance was on your side. Now, I believe that chance is a real element in the universe. It's something that you can't wish away or say, well, if I just get really good at manifesting, there'll never be any chance again. Chance is there. It's the X factor. It's the piece and the part that drives things forward. Things that aren't always consciously chosen or directed or created. It is, again, the X factor. And everywhere we look in nature, everywhere we look in science, there is this factor of chance, of, well, roll those dice. Nature, life, spirit has a really good reason for injecting risk and chance into your life. And when I say risk, I don't mean a bad risk. I mean good things. Again, every time you roll the dice, you're risking you're going to get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And there's a reason for this. We may not understand it, but it's there. It's powerful. It's impactful. It's been the backbone of evolution. Without chance impacting things, how would we have grown as species and multiplied and had so many different species in our world tree? Chance. Chance said, if we try this, you might adapt. Oh, that worked out. Let's do more of that. That was chance. Now, we don't want our lives to be completely based on chance, right? That's where we'd stop and say, whoa, wait a minute. That's way too random. That is way too out of, a feeling of powerlessness. I went on that job interview. I did my darndest. Don't tell me it's just chance that they'll hire me. I was an important piece of that interview. I was an actor in that, a figure in that, a force to be reckoned with. I had intention around it. And that brings us to our next one, intention. What is the agency that you personally have? Well, we again see evidence of that all around us, everywhere we go. If I chose, today I chose to sit down and do some recordings with you and put together a few more podcast episodes. That was my intention. I acted on it, and here we are doing it. That's a lot of impact that I have in the world. I just decided on my future, shaped it, created it, and now made it happen. That seems like I'm a really strong, again, to use the word agency. That means I have this power to direct my life, to impact my life. I use the word control very, very cautiously. But I am sort of controlling these minutes that I'm spending with you right now. Now, chance could enter at any moment. Someone could knock on my door, interrupt the recording. Anything could happen. It could be a giant thunderstorm and all the power goes out. Chance. But my intention is what I'm communicating, living, and doing right now. So these two are now playing together. Even in this moment, using myself as the example, as I often do. Where else does intention play out? Well, this is where, in the world of manifesting and co-creating, we move from the idea that, okay, my intention is just to, check off the things on my to-do list today. I'll make dinner. I'm intending all of my next movements and future actions. But there's something else, call it like a leading edge, kind of like this more subtle energy around the edges of where I'm going and what I'm doing. This bigger kind of direction. My intention is to have a good day. My intention is to have a lot of lucky and beautiful and important and wonderful and love-filled things happen. My intention is to crawl in bed tonight and feel like, oh yes, my heart was happy. I was productive. I was a force to be reckoned with. I gave and I made a difference. Right? There's this kind of intention too. It's sloppier, right? It's not something I can just, put my finger on and say, well, if I do this, this, and this, I will feel all of those ways. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But this larger intention sort of flows out from me. It informs the world around me constantly. This is what I'm doing all these things for. Because I want to feel like this. I want to become this. I want to experience this. And this intention, think of it like a kind of invisible substance, an energy that radiates from us. I don't know what it actually is, but it's easy to think of it that way, so I do. This goes into everything that I interact with. Every moment, every minute, every hour has this sort of flood of energy from me with all of these characteristics that I just described, my feelings, my intentions, my desires. Everything that I approach hits this wall of energy that seeps through it and becomes impacted by it, becomes subtly changed by it. And this intention becomes, because of this, a kind of directional force in my life. And the things that I encounter are aligning with it or bouncing away from it. They're bouncing away when the things that are happening don't make me feel lit up or filled with joy or productive or whatever else it is that I'm kind of exuding, the why for all the things that I'm doing. They bounce away. They don't fit. They don't work. The things that do fit, well, I invite them in, right? It's an open door. It's sort of like a screen on a window. If my screen is really tight, it doesn't let much in. Just the tiniest little things can get through. That's what I'm looking for. The big stuff bounces away, can't get through the mesh. That's the power of intention in my life. It's funny, I was thinking just before I started this episode, Dr. Wayne Dyer and I, we worked together for many years. And my gosh, doing so many podcasts with him. At around that time, his book titled The Power of Intention had just hit the store shelves. We even changed the title of his podcast for a while to reflect it, and it was called The Power of Intention. And I heard from him over and over, intention is what you lead with. It is the foot you put forward. And it really informed me. It added to the canon, if you will, of Abraham Hicks and manifesting and what it meant, what it means, the law of attraction, etc. So intention for me is a really potent force. Now, I use flow dreaming as a way to kind of access and accentuate and grow this force, grow this information that I then put out around me, ahead of me, everywhere I go, informing the world, this is what I'm doing, this is why it's happening, this is what I'm looking for, pull the right things together. And flow dreaming, if you don't know, is a practice. It's based on strong, intense emotion, guided daydreaming, and awareness of flow energy, flow state of being, which is a real psychological state of being, but we elevate it from simply being in your mind to being outside of your mind, being in a place of spirit, if you will. So we use this process to get our intention really dialed in. Now, can you feel what this is doing? Can you feel what this gives? It gives you this strength. It gives you a clarity. It gives you this sense of power and direction. You are a force to be reckoned with. You are an actor in your life. And I don't mean like a movie star. I mean like a strong actor, an agent. You are this being that creates. That is your job. You're creating what you're doing next in the next 10 minutes. I just lifted up my coffee cup right now. Maybe I'll take a sip. I decided to do that. I did it. I impacted the world with my physical movement. I disturbed all the atoms in the air floating around me. But I also have an intention that backs this, that exudes through this, that informs something bigger. I don't want to just drink my coffee. I'm drinking my coffee because I want to feel awake and lively. And frankly, I love coffee. Because I want to feel awake and lively, because I want to give you guys a really good episode. Why? Because I love this stuff and I love sharing it with people who love it too. And that's you. And maybe if I get you excited about this, you're going to go through the rest of your day feeling different about yourself, feeling a little more powerful and inspired. And if that happens, maybe you will take up flow dreaming. I know I'm proselytizing, right? But here I am. Maybe you'll take it up and you'll start doing it and you'll feel like, oh my God, I love this process. My life is improving and growing. I'm so happy. And then like this little pinball bouncing around, you're going to hit all these other people in your life, bing, 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 and impact all of them. And they're going to be happier and better. And I will have this sense inside me of, whew, that was a good day. My intentions were fulfilled. They were fulfilled. And good things came back, traveled back to me in my life as a result. I was given more opportunity to do this. I was rewarded. I was whatever it may be that I'm looking for. All right, that's intention. That's its power. And I think we forget sometimes And we just get caught up in navigating, right? We're just navigating. Like, think about what you've done today up until this point. Has it just been, well, I handled this, I handled that, I drove the kids to school, I showed up at work, I restocked the shelves, I just, handled things. Handling things is fine, but was there intention? Did you activate your intention? Did you acknowledge your intention? And that's why I'm always saying put a practice in place in your life. A practice where you start the day with your intention. You end the day with your intention. You give a nod and a wink to chance. You say, I need you, baby. I need you, chance. Because you're going to inject those things that are just going to, provide the grease on the wheel of evolution and change. But I'm the main thing here. And this is where we're going. Now let's go to the last of these big three. Destiny. Yeah, I told you this was kind of a mind bender of an episode. Every now and then I like to throw it in, just like I want you to think about these. Like, where do you put your trust? Where do you live most? Now, some people believe, and I can't say they believe all of life is destiny, but isn't it funny how we kind of cherry pick it? Like, it was destiny that I met my soulmate when I was 15. It was destiny that I never met my soulmate my whole life. It was destiny that I was born to these parents. It was destiny that I went into this line of work. It was destiny that I went to this school and not that school. We tend to ascribe destiny to certain big events. And we can call it anything we want. Like, I planned it before birth. I made these agreements out there, or I had karma to fulfill or work off. But it's sort of something that is so big and kind of out of our control. Maybe we planned it. We can say that, but we don't have any knowledge of it. There's nothing we can check back on inside and say, yeah, that's for sure something I planned, or that's for sure something that God or Source planned for me. So we just use this kind of throwaway term, destiny. Out of my control is essentially what destiny typically means. So, what's the good part of destiny? Destiny can help you on your path towards something greater. I was destined to come here, move through a series of life events that changed me, that grew me, that empowered me. And this is purely your choice. Because I could also say, I moved through a series of powerful life events that came to me by chance or came to me by destiny. But either way, guess who I was inside of every event? I had intention. I had autonomy. I had agency. I could choose to deal with these events in any way, shape, or form that I wanted to. I could show up inside them in any way that I wanted to. That was my intention. An active, progressive, soul-fueled force. But whether it was chance or whether it was destiny, I could almost swap them out sometimes. Right? So can you see how chance and destiny are these things that, yes, they're part of life, but are they necessarily what you think they are? Is destiny really destiny, or could it be chance? Destiny seems to imply that no matter what we did, we were going to end up at the same place. No matter what we did. I wonder about that sometimes. I wonder. For instance, let's say it was destiny that I'm going to use again the relationship example because so many people use it. It was destiny that I wouldn't meet the person of my dreams until I was 42 years old. Destiny that I would travel my first 4 decades alone. They're simply just not going to come in until I'm 42. But what if my intention said, I want to learn how to be in a loving and beautiful relationship? I want to learn that. And I'm going to start doing that with my partners who will help me become this being. And eventually one of these partners is going to be the absolute and utterly most perfect one. And let's say I knock it out of the park. Let's say by the time I'm 25, I know how to be in a great relationship. I know what it takes. I do it. I am it. I'm loving. I show up for my partner. I'm all the things. I have good, clear boundaries. I'm absolutely ready at that point to meet people, to meet a person that I can have a wonderful relationship with. I am aligned to that person. I'm aligned to them. Now, okay, this is where the weird gap comes in. Do I really have to wait almost 20 more years? Walking around being totally and perfectly aligned to that person, but not having them enter my life? Because destiny said 42? Well, hey, I got the job done way earlier. So what now, destiny? What now? Can't we scoot up that timeline? Because if I'm aligning to it, chances are it's going to work unless there is some force actively holding it back from me. And that's where I start to question destiny. Is there a force actively holding it back? If so, what? Who? Why? To what end? I showed up. I'm ready. I was ready early. Imagine you were learning how to do math, basic arithmetic. 5 plus 5 equals 10. And you got it. Like you nailed it. You can do addition in your head all night long. But destiny says, yeah, but you can't advance beyond addition for another 5 years. You'd say, why? I'm here. It's natural. I'm aligning to my next step. But you're purposely yanking it out of my hands for a set period of time? That seems kind of strange. So I do take issue with destiny, whereas I recognize the intrinsic universal value of chance. And I wonder sometimes if the two aren't being confused for each other. Maybe what you think of destiny really just is chance. Maybe chance is destiny or destiny chance or, vice versa. What I don't like is that destiny implies something is out of your hands. Now, chance is out of your hands, but it's not as if it's being purposely withheld. There's a difference. There's a difference. So I like to sit and orient myself most of the time right in the sweet spot between those two. You guessed it, intention. I am the active, radiant force in my life, who I am, how I interact with others, the energy with which I enter a room, the decisions and the desires that flow from me are all coming from intention. Pardon the siren. I decided recently that I am not going to stop and re-record every time there's a siren or a plane going overhead. I'm sorry, folks, but I just get way too many of them. It's better to have that flow of consciousness as I record. Oh, and it's gone. Or maybe not. I think I still hear it. So here we are. I sit squarely in that place of intention. The manifestational force that I am, the co-creator that I am. And now this leads me to the last bit. The co-creator that I am. What does the co imply? The co implies that it's not just me. I'm not doing everything. I'm doing my half. I'm doing my fair share. I'm showing up 100% in my arena. But the co says you have a partner. And what's the partner? It's the world. It's the universe. It's everything else outside of me. That is the partner. And it's listening to me, and it's responsive to me. And if I grow to a certain point, it shifts gears with me and says, oh yeah, she finished that one in 2 years. Let's give it to her now. Or 2 years early. Let's give her that now. She's ready. She's changed herself. She's become something else. Let's do this. So my co is active, it's responsive, and sometimes it's given me chance, and maybe sometimes it's giving me destiny. I'm not discounting destiny. I'm just saying I want to really put it in its place. But it's co-creating with me. I'm saying more of this, and the co out there is saying, yeah, we're going to put that together because it matches you. This matches you. This is your natural next phase, your natural next step. Why? Because you did that to yourself. You are the caterpillar who just made yourself all mushy and reformed into a butterfly. We can't make you not be a butterfly. You just went through the process of becoming one. So we do need to do this with you. This is how my world is relating to me, moment by moment by moment. It's pretty logical in that sense, isn't it? So I am this being moving forward with a little bit of chance, perhaps a little bit of destiny, and a whole lot of intention. So as I go through my day and I'm planning what I want to feel, what I want to give, what I want to make, create, experience, I'm communicating it to the world. It's not just locked in my head. It's in my very being. It's in my very essence. It's in all the thoughts, all the things that I do, all the words that I say, all the choices that I do or don't make throughout the day. I am a force rushing into this world around me. The world responds, absorbs, and replies constantly to me and with me. And that is how my life is being shaped. Do you get how powerful that is? I mean, that is unimaginably powerful. So if you've been feeling today that you were not in that power, that you were just handling stuff, I want you to step back. Go back into that power. Feel that power. Close your eyes for a few minutes and flow in those feelings of power. Do some flow dreaming. Do some intention. Do some gratitude. Do some mindfulness. Whatever it is that gets you there. It's the best thing you can do for yourself today. The number one thing. I mean, aside from taking care of your body, right? Good sleep, good food, good exercise. But this is what you do for your future. This is what you do for your soul, for your being. Evolving. Drop into it. Now, we're not going to do a flow dream today. I encourage you, go listen to one of my flow dreaming introductory shows, learn the process. Go to the website, flowdreaming.com. You can find some flow dreams there that are very easy and very beautiful, including one called Positive Flow. And that's in the free kit you can download. Just shift back into this. It feels so good. So with that, my dears, I will be letting you all go. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, maybe roll over into another episode even of this very show, whatever you wish to do. But I will see you all again for the next episode of Flow Dreaming. Hi, friends. If you enjoyed this episode, then I'd like you to consider what having private mentoring with me would be like. You see, I accept a small number of people each year for private coaching. The question is, what do you want to make? Who do you want to become? We can program and shape any area of yourself or your life. Imagine right now what you would be doing if you had no fear. Imagine how your life would look if there were no patterns and blocks repeatedly tripping you up. Imagine if you were fully healed in your heart, body, and mind. Imagine if you also had a map to your success and you could follow it with ease and flow. Well, I look into you and into your life, and I feel where you're going and know where the road is open and where it's blocked. I help you make the very best decisions based on what's coming up for you. I'll also show you exactly what I do day to day to succeed in my personal and business life, and we can create a copycat plan for you. So if you're game, you can fill out an application on my website for private coaching. Just go to flowdreaming.com/coaching, and then let's talk. I mean, the time to go for it is now. So let's just get this started. Just reach out to me at my website, flowdreaming.com, and I'll get right back with you.